Hello, everybody, and welcome to Altered States with Rachel. And I'm Rachel. Hi, how are y'all doing? How's everybody? Hi, Sandy. Hi, Brigitte. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jennifer. I feel like what was that TV show? I don't remember what it was. There's like I see. Oh, it kind of looks weird. The Romper Room. That's what it was. I see Brigitte. How y'all doing? Today is Monday, March 13th. And yes, I'm in the spotlight. The Waltons, I know, not John Boy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I still watch the Waltons. My mama loves it. So my mama has been watching the Waltons forever, and she'll call me and she'll be like, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you what happens." I was like, "How many times have you seen this show? Like, you know what's going to happen. Like, you know what's going to happen. Why are you still like crying and upset about this?" I don't know. Poor Jim Bob and Marianne, right? So how y'all doing? Y'all feeling good? Feeling fine? Yeah, Romper Room. I think that was a little bit before my time. I don't remember. Yeah, Mary Ellen. Jim Bob. Yeah. All good in the hood. All right. So what y'all want to do? Y'all want to talk a little bit? Y'all want to throw down some cards? Y'all want to do some readings? Mm-hmm. Brigitte, you feel in a weird place? Well, I'll say this. All day long, my internet has been going crazy. My iPhone's been going crazy. My phone's been going crazy. Whenever I'd go to check my email, it would say that the server is unreachable. So I knew that there was something going on there. I tried to place an order something online, and it had nothing to do with Apple. And it's like, your Apple product, it was going to make me enter my biometrics. And I'm like, what is this for? And so that took a minute. I don't know what's going on. I'm assuming that the communication lines, whatever goes through with the internet, that they must be bogged down with something. I don't know what they've been bogged down with, but in my mind, that's what's going on. Carol, I know I never say Carol. I know, right? That's like my daughter Shay. She's SHAY. We could never find her like a carved a keychain or anything that was printed that had kids' names on it. We never had any of that. Then a jump. I can see that. All right. So who wants to go first? So I have the John Holland deck, and I've never really done this before, the Psychic Tarot. I've never done it, but I think I'm going to do it, okay? So, of course, y'all know that these are just tools, but let's play with these and see. Hi, Francis. All right. Okay, Carol. Okay, so what I'm going to do. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to pull 9 cards, right? And I'm going to do a 3 by 3. I got to get situated. I'm sitting on like 4 pillows because I'm basically a tall midget. So I had to have a booster seat here. Okay. Tall little person. Sorry. All right. What does Carol need to know? Okay, so this is working out in my head. I'm pulling 3 rows of 3, which is 9, because I paid attention to math. And, all right, Carol. So, my intentions are I set my intentions of what you need to work on for the upcoming week. Okay. So basically you're going to have some base chakra, which is your root chakra, and you're going to have some solar plexus chakra issues. Okay. So the base chakra, that's going to have to do with your light, letting your light shine, even though it seems like the base or the root is like lower and the light being high, it feels like that switch is going to be cut off. So if you have your switch cut off, and I'm just seeing it as like a light switch, so if your base chakra switch is turned off, then your light's not going to shine. Okay. Then with the solar plexus chakra, the card that up above it is a spiritual union, which is heart chakra or heart things. So again, I'm not saying that like this is a block, but it feels like another switch. So in order for this spiritual union, then that solar plexus switch is going to have to be flipped on. Okay. So this all comes back down to your light and the spiritual union. So it really feels like, Carol, the whole reason of these switches being off is because of disconnect and boredom. I feel like you are disconnected from it. You know what? It's not disconnect, it's discontent. I passed math, but I didn't pass reading, guys. So it's discontent and boredom. So there you go, Carol. You need to have fun and childlike wonder this week. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, how can I do that and like pay bills, or how can I do that and like exist in this world? Well, we know that spring is coming up, and it's the new, like the equinox, not new spring, but spring is coming up. And I always think of spring as like new beginnings, rebirth, fertility. And I always like to approach it with like childlike wonder, childlike curiosity, because I love birds. So I'm seeing all these new baby birds, and I know a lot of the baby birds have different colors. So I always try to figure out what kind of bird they are, because they don't have all their mature colors. So they're kind of hard to do. So that's what I do. That's what I do, like with this childlike wonder. And I'm like exploring. I walk around my yard and I look at my new flowers that are coming up. That's what I do. It's kind of like an adventure. So perhaps you can do that too, Carol. You just need to have childlike wonder of this newness. And I won't say appreciation, but that's what it feels like, appreciation and gratitude. And I'm sure you're already in that place. So why, if she's already in this place of gratitude and appreciation, it's okay. So you also need this solitude. You need to do this meditation, Carol, in order to be in this place with this childlike wonder. You need to go into this solitude and be by yourself. And I feel like it has to do with exploring. And I know in my other show, I was talking about like finding 4-leaf clovers, and I have always done that. And that's something I love as a kid. And like, we'll be somewhere and I'll see a patch of clovers, and I'm like, I'll immediately like dip out of that conversation. I'm looking for 4-leaf clovers. So that's how it kind of feels like. It feels like you need to go back to that childlike wonder, Carol, and like go back to what you used to do when you were little, wander around the yard. Okay. There you go. It feels like you just need some solitude, alone time, and reflect time to see all the beauty in the world. You will play in the 8 inches of snow we're getting. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Carol. But snow is cool though, too. I don't like the cold, but I'm appreciative of it. Well, get out and play in the snow, Carol. Yeah, do you want to build a snowman? What's that song? Okay. Hey, KJ. Hey, Elise. Hi. Pretty sure I said, hey, Francis. Yes, Andy, this is the first time I've really played with them like this. I've done them for me. Okay, who's next? All right, Francis. What does Francis need to know? What does Francis need to know? Okay, Francis. So what I'm being shown with these cards is basically all this shadow work that you have been doing. And I don't know if you know what shadow work is, but it's basically going within and working on your emotions and kind of clearing out the emotions that you're having and why you're carrying it and why it's being triggered. And what it really feels like, instead of being triggered by this, you're finally able, like when a situation comes up, you're not being triggered from it. Like the response time has been cut down. And so you are be able to be in this reflective moment and like, why is that bothering me? I don't understand that. And so you are really using that to your advantage. So what's really coming up is throat chakra stuff. What it really feels like, Francis, is that, okay, so what I just saw was you doing all the shadow work and then you closed the book on it. And then you moved on. So I'm asking, do you need to open that book up and revisit it? Or should you just move on? Like, did you finish it and move on? So, Francis, what I'm thinking is that you need to go back and revisit that. You need to go back and read. I don't know. Like I just saw like journaling. So I don't know if you need to go back. That's the book. Francis. Okay, Francis. So I was literally shown a book being open and you reading it, and then perhaps you was triggered and you closed it. So I don't know what the story was about, but it was something about that and you didn't like it. So they're telling me that you should go back and keep reading, keep working through it, keep reading it. There you go, Francis. I hope that resonates because that seems pretty random and weird, but hey, got to go with obvious. But yeah, it's just like you working on these emotional triggers, and something in this book triggered you, and or you had an emotional reaction, because trigger sounds like, oh, she got triggered, but it sounds like you had an emotional reaction and that you closed it. So I think you need to go back and revisit, finish it. Okay. There you go, Francis. Please let me know. Because that sound, like I said, that sounds really weird, but like I said, it's the obvious of what I was being shown, so I don't want to not say it. Hi, Joni. All right, Destiny, you can be next. Hi, Destiny. Welcome. Destiny Dawn. Destiny Dawn. You sound like a Tanya Tucker song. Destiny Dawn. That's a cool name, though. Destiny Dawn. You know. I don't know. Because you think of the dawn, I think of like, the early mornings. And when you think of destiny, I think of something that's kind of like set in stone. So it's almost like the promise of a new day or a new opportunity. Really cool name, Destiny Dawn. All right, what is Destiny Dawn? Did you know? All right, Destiny. So I said the intentions was what you need to work on this week. And so Destiny, what I'm getting is patience, truth, and moving on. Patience, truth, and moving on. Okay. So the patience, it feels like what that has to do is with is it honestly, it feels like unspoken requests because I was having a hard time saying anything, but it feels like unspoken requests. But it doesn't feel like a verbal unspoken request. So it feels like like this is something that you wanted to do, like it's something that you physically wanted to do, but no, like, oh Lord, unspoken request. So it really feels like you have been wanting to do this, like this is something physical. It feels like something moving forward. It is a desire. It's a physical desire. Like this is something that you want to physically do. So I guess what it means by an unspoken request is this is something that you haven't. It's like you really, really wanted it, and the desire is there, but for whatever reason, you feel like you can't move forward with it. Okay. That's what that feels like. And so the truth really feels like there's this conflict, like you're having to choose. It feels like this conflict of having to choose about doing something that is responsible or something that is fun. So perhaps this unspoken request of you doing something that you want to do, you're seeing it as something fun and that it's not very responsible. So you're hesitating that you're not doing it, and you're moving on from it, and you're like just like dropping it, and that's kind of making you sad. So Destiny Dawn, I think you definitely need to go back and you need to do it. Maybe don't do it on the scale that you're thinking, but or perhaps, Destiny, what you need to do is think about why you wanted to do this. Like what emotion you was going to get out of this. Did it mean like fun, or did it mean creativity? Did it mean freedom? What was the actual emotion that you wanted from this unspoken request? And then think of ways you can experience that emotion. And then that will help you move on. Because that's how I feel. I feel like you're trying to think of responsibility or having fun. So figure out what that emotion was, that the emotional aspect that you was going to get from that unspoken request, and find it in different ways and do it. There you go, Destiny Dawn. Carol, it'll be gone by Sunday. Good for you. I don't know. Snow wouldn't be bad. I'm sure everybody's snow is different. Just like snow in Colorado, totally different than Georgia snow. Our snow is just like nasty. But I was seeing on Facebook Memories how 30 years ago is whenever we got that big snowstorm that came. And it was so funny because at that time I was dating a guy that had a 4-wheel drive. And I was like, hey, come get us. We're stuck in the house with no power. And he couldn't come get us in a 4-wheel drive. And he literally lived like 5 minutes down the road. And then my grandmother, who lived probably 45 minutes away, drove over in her Cadillac and got us. My mama saved the day. So I didn't let him live that down. It's like, how can you not come get me? My mama on her Cadillac came. So just shows who really loved you. My mama. All righty, Elise. What does Elise need to know? What do the cards want to tell Elise? And it's not that we were big balling growing up. My grandfather always, he was a mechanic for like a Cadillac dealership. So he would always get really good cars whenever they would come in. So yeah, she always drove Cadillacs. All right, Elise. What does Elise need to know? Elise, I think they want to talk about something that happened over the weekend. I'm wondering if you had an injury over the weekend, Elise. Again, I'm getting these really random things. And I'm always, I don't know. All right, Elise, did you get injured over the weekend? Or was there something that you thought you should go get checked out over the weekend? Yes. I think you should follow up on that. Even if it's still not hurting or it's not an issue, I think you don't need to forget about it, okay? You need to follow up with it. Okay. All right, Elise. So what you need to work on this week? Really kind of like what the cards are showing is that you are moving from this place of like suffering in silence to rejoicing in celebration. So perhaps the beginning of the week you were suffering in silence, and by the end of the week you're going to be rejoicing in celebration. And I think how you're going to do this is you are going to change your perspective. You are going to change your perspective. Like you're choosing, like I'm not saying you're spinning your words or you're changing your thoughts, but it's like every thought that you have, you change it to this place of gratitude. I think I just said that with Carol too, but that's what you do. And that it changes like the emotional aspect of how you feel. And then you're going to be rejoicing in celebration by this weekend. So there you go, Elise. All righty. Mm-hmm. So Sandy, mine aren't gold. Sounds like you got the fancy ones. Maybe the old ones were the older ones were gold. Because I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen some like that. I know a lot of people use these. I just really haven't looked at the guidebook or studied the guidebook. So I like them though. All right, KJ. Rachel, you were right. My son switched schools over Christmas break. He is much more at ease. He went from a city to a Pennsylvania small town. Oh, how cool. Is he going to Penn State? That kind of small town? I don't know. And of course, Penn State. I just think of Penn State because of paranormal state. I think that's what it was. Alrighty, here comes a train. Francis, you're dealing with a lot of anxiety. Yeah. Well, Francis, I don't know if you know about transmutation, but you can take that anxiety and imagine it being transmuted into whatever serves you. I always like to imagine a little bitty like flame above my head. And because whenever I'm feeling a whole lot of anxiety and it's like coming from a family member who I won't call out, but if I'm feeling anxiety from them, then I imagine like whatever's between us, like, or if there's like whatever's physically there, and then I imagine that being this transmuter and it changing into something different. And then if I don't know who it's coming from, then I always imagine like a purple flame or a violet flame above my head, transmuting it. That helps me with anxiety. And Francis, I'm not going to lie. Saturday, I was drinking some Crown Peach. That was helping me with my anxiety. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I was so miserable and so crazy. That was it. I was like, I'm going to have to do something because I can't. So that's what I did. So as much as I transmute, I was drinking some Crown Peach. Because I couldn't even stand myself. Hi, Brigitte. Oh, Brigitte already said hey to you. Sorry. I haven't been drinking tonight. Okay, Brigitte. What does Brigitte need to know? What does Brigitte need to know? What do the cards want to tell Brigitte? I know I don't even want to shovel them because they're so new. I don't want to bend them. I think that Wanda uses these cards too. All right. What do the cards want? What does John Holland want to tell Brigitte? All right, Brigitte. So, darling, honey, sugar pie, it feels like that you have this passion, and I'm literally just going to read the card, okay? But it feels like you have found this passion, and it shows this flame inside, okay? Look at that. Okay. What's really cool is right beside it is this circle with this flame too. They're different kind of flames. And what's really cool is, look, this is a chalice. And anytime, because I love watching like ancient aliens or the explorers things and anything where they're looking for the Holy Grail. And I think that the Holy Grail isn't a physical object. I think it is our consciousness, or that it is that spirit inside us. And it's that awareness. And I think that that's what the Holy Grail is. So I love the fact that it's passion ignited, and it literally looks like a chalice. So the other thing is Kundalini. Kundalini, I think, is also like a metaphor for the Holy Grail. And I do think it's this awareness. So, Brigitte, I'm wondering if you had like, I don't know, almost want to say like a spiritual epiphany, but it also feels like you have, I don't want to say fallen in love, but it feels like you have fallen in love with something, that you have found your passion, like you found something that gives you goosebumps. And I don't know. But I mean, it's like everything. Like you see the line. I know you probably can't see it, but it's like the line is rising up, and then in the flames, there's like a being, and that doesn't look like an angel. It really is like you on fire, like you're on fire. But it is. It's moving you to this higher place, and that just by you doing something, by you making a conscious decision to move, that it is propelling you forward because you are moving on. So it feels like, Brigitte, whatever kind of little funk you was in, you set it on fire, you did something, and you're invigorated, and you are like looking at it in the rearview mirror while it's on fire. That's what it feels like. It feels like you set the city on fire and you are leaving town. That's what it feels like. Like it's in your past and you are no longer emotionally connected with it. Like it's in your rearview mirror and you could like you're Thelma and Louise driving off. That's how it feels. It feels like you have moved on. Congratulations, Brigitte. Hi, Chris. All right, let's do a reading for Chris. What does Chris Powell need to know? What does the cards want to tell Chris Powell? And Chris Powell, I'm asking what do the cards want to tell you? And I'm just saying rise and shine, rise and shine, rise and shine. So I don't know what that means to you or if it means anything. But rise and shine. Rise and shine, rise and shine. So, Chris Powell, the card that stands out is this one, and it's the Temptation card, which is also the 15, which is the devil in regular tarot. And this is just all about fear. So I don't know if you're having to, it honestly feels like you are having to make a decision that is fear-based. Like you're it's like you're having to make a decision that is fear-based, okay? What is this? So it feels like you're having to make a decision based in fear, and that you are just feeling, how are you feeling? It honestly feels like you're standing on the sidelines watching everybody else have fun. It feels like, and it's not the fact that you're not being included. It feels like you can't join. So it's not that, it's not like those people don't want you to play with them. It's like you can't play. It just feels like there's something, it feels like it just feels like there's more. There's like a reason why you can't. It's like you're being held back by something, or you feel like you're being held back by something. So that's the reason why you're making this decision out of fear. So it feels like you might be scared of change, and like there's this anxiety or there's this hesitation thinking that you can't go to where they're having fun or go to where this group is. But that's exactly how I feel. I feel like that you're here and you are making this decision based in fear, and seeing everybody. Oh, you, hang on a second, everybody. Okay. So, Chris, it feels like you are making this decision based on fear and that you are watching everybody else have fun somewhere else. And that there's this fear of change or fear of anxiety that is keeping you from going over there. Okay. So that's what feels like that is keeping you from going over there, joining it, joining the fun or joining whatever you perceive as fun. And I don't know if you're in this place of like a loss, like there's heartbreak. What it feels like, Chris, like you might have been, and I'm just going to use this as a metaphor, that it feels like there was a loss there, and this loss has to do like with a relationship. So say, for example, if you was in a relationship and y'all had mutual friends together and then you broke up and then all your friends are over here, but you can't go over there because they associated you in this relationship. And that's not true. Like, so this group really wants to invite you over, but I think they're afraid that you won't come over because you see them in that from like that previous life. And I hope that makes sense, but that's how that feels. Again, I'm just going to say it again. Chris, it feels like it feels like this, like a metaphor. It feels like you was in a relationship and y'all had mutual friends and then you broke up. And now all these mutual friends are over here having fun, are doing things, and you want to go join them, but you can't because you're afraid that they really wasn't your friends. They was only friends with you because you was in this relationship, so you don't want to go over there. But they're really over there saying, Chris, come over here. We still value as a friend. We still like you. Like our like for you isn't based on what relationship you was in, but they're just afraid that you don't like them or you don't want to hang out with them because they were only friends because of the relationship. And I hope that makes sense. And I know I've said that 500 times, but that's how that feels. So don't make this decision based out of fear of heartache or loss. Okay. And that's exactly what the card says, heartache and loss. They still want to be your friend, Chris, whatever the situation is. KJ, you don't have a question, but you was dreaming, you was teaching your car how to fly and assuring everyone that every car flies. Not the first time for this dream. Sometimes the car goes too high and I get afraid, but then I hold my breath in my dream and the car's lower weird. So I'm assuming that the cars are, it's a vehicle. And if you're going high, that has to be consciousness. And I'm assuming that you're telling everybody, hey, you can do this. You can do this. And then with you holding your breath, which is because breath is the life, it's like breath gives us life. And so if you think that you hold your breath, that, you die, that it goes back down. So that makes sense. But actually, whenever I do breathing techniques, sometimes it's a suspension of breath that I like. I mean, I don't sit there and hold my breath like a tantrum, but I get that because that is the pause whenever there is no breath. So, KJ, I love dreams. I love your dream. And I love the dream that you're trying to teach people or tell people that, that every car flies, that they can do it. Destiny Dawn, that's what you was named after, Delta Dawn. Alrighty. Let's see. Destiny. I wanted to go shopping and it was war in my mind if I wanted to spend the money. Yeah. Let's see. Hi, Michael. Hi, Janie Ann. All right, Janie Ann. I hope I'm not pronouncing Miss Lavelle That's what would it say? All right. Jane. Is it Janie or Janie? Jan? All righty. Miss Lavelle. What do the cards need to tell you for this week? I do believe that there's an energy in here playing with me. That's what I do believe. I believe that they need to go back outside. Or it's rats. All right, Miss Lavelle. All right. So, Miss Lavelle, you asked about what your future may hold, but what I am getting from this reading is about you having visions. And so whenever I say visions, it can just be you knowing, it can be you actually like having a dream and like, no, this is more than a dream. And it doesn't even have to be like you going in meditation, but that's what I'm getting is that you're having these visions and you're having these visions. And I don't know if you're doubting that you are getting these or that. So what I'm feeling like is like you're going back and forth in your mind and you're trying to validate it and you're asking for more signs, like to say, is this legit? Is this true? That's what it feels like. And it feels like you're trying to qualify it. And then it's like you will think about the vision and then it's like, well, I was just thinking about it, so I'm giving it more power. So it's just like you're really, I don't want to use the word obsession, but it's like this is constantly on your mind ever since this happened. That you are thinking about this vision, this situation, and you are trying to figure out what it means, if it's real, and you're asking for signs. So if you are asking for signs, then you can take this as a sign that, yes, it was real. There you go, Miss Lavelle. And again, I know that seems, I hope that resonates with you because it seems very specific, but it seems it was like, that's what it was. Hi, Michael. It sounds like Janine. Johnny? I don't know. I know. You. Oh, there's Rachel. She's got a different name. I love. I know. I know. And I always think that I have the most basic name, and I'm like, it was so basic. It's in the Bible, but I know the Bible has a lot of crazy names. But it's just funny. So. But what's even funnier is we went to the chiropractor today and we had to sign in, and my 14-year-old son did not know how to spell my name. It was just RAC. I was like, do you not know how to finish this out, or do you feel pressure because I'm standing behind you? Like, was you going to be funny and write something, you know? But I was like, surely he knows how to spell Rachel. I don't know. Yeah, but hello, Rachel, and welcome. All right. Who wants a reading? We still got like 15, 20 minutes. And we know that Jennifer's not doing nothing but probably like making pasta and saving the world. Making pasta at the pasta machine, the pasta maker. Carol, you're always in the house with some random occurrences. I know. So I had these like baskets in here. And whenever I came in, well, not when I came in, I didn't notice it, but I'm pretty sure that they were not sitting in the middle of the floor upside down. And then I put my stuff down and I looked and they were upside down. I'm like, I would have noticed if they was in here. So I thought that was kind of weird. However, I could have knocked them over. So who really knows? There's that possibility. And you know that's what they say about poltergeist, that it's really a person doing it, of course, unintentionally. But that's what poltergeist activity is. Oh, like Janine? Janine? Okay. I got that. I can do that. Janine. Okay. Michael, you're working on a pretty big project recreation-wise. Wondering if the cards will tell you if it will be worth it. Michael. Okay, Michael, I'm going to go out on a limb and ask you if this has to do with like vacation or retreat oriented. Is this something where people are going to go to experience altered states? Like, does it have to do with plant medicine, or does it have to do with like them just going like out in the woods and surviving for 2 or 3 days? Because I love to watch Naked and Afraid. It's a TV show here. There's a TV show everywhere. But I just got that image about people going out in the woods and being vulnerable, or just going out and being vulnerable. But I also got the feeling of like a retreat, that not like a resort retreat. Like this is that like going into all. But I also got like altered state. So, you know, I don't know if it's plant medicine or I guess it could honestly be anybody going out and like it could even be like overcoming stuff. Altered way of life. Yes. Yes, Michael, you're going to do good with it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. We'll pull some cards. Okay, I just pulled 3, Michael, and so it's intuition, heartache and loss, and solar plexus chakra. So, uh, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if the major component is going to be people that are having heartache and loss, which we all have heartache and loss, but it also feels like that they are coming they're overcoming something. Oh my gosh. And I think you're going to do it through like creativity. Creativity with a little bit of competition. So I don't know if you're going to do competition based things, or I don't know. It just feels like creativity and competition, especially since it's solar plexus, but it feels very much for people to overcome. And yeah, so I don't know if you're going to be like this shaman type deal where you go and lead people on this journey, or like what it is exactly. But I do think it's going to be it's something is based around the intuition. So I don't know if like this has been your vision and you're fulfilling it, or you are going to help these people find intuition and their creativity. I don't know. I don't want to say it sounds like a pretty standard retreat because I'm not trying to downplay it. What I'm hearing is like it's a pretty standard idea. So I don't know if you're going to doubt that it's going to work. And so what I mean by it's a pretty standard idea is that a lot of people do it. A lot of people make money. A lot of people are successful from this. Like you're not doing anything that won't work. That's what I mean by it's a pretty standard idea. Not that it's going to be basic and that every Joe Blow is doing it. It just feels like, yeah, people do this all the time. You can do it. You can do it, Michael. You can do it. That's how it feels. Like you're not promising people they're going to walk on the moon. Like you are legit promising, and you'll know how to deliver it. You're only promising things that they can attain. That's what I mean by it's like a pretty standard idea. You're not going to promise them they can walk on the moon. You can promise them that they can heal and overcome. There you go, Michael. I know that pasta machine never. I know that was what was that? That was on Saturday Night Live where he's like making copies at the copy machine, the copy master making copies. Yeah, you got a Facebook user. You got to put your name in there. That way I know. A retreat. No, I totally agree, Michael. I totally agree. I know I was saying that that I had partaken in some Crown Peach, and I normally don't like to do that because that has been in my family. That's how they, that's how they coped with things. But no, I totally agree. And so many people are doing retreats with plant medicine and ayahuasca, and I'm like I saw one where it was like virtual, and I'm like, what are they doing? They're just basically sending them the drugs, and they do a Zoom call. And I was like, no, there's supposed to be like homework before and after, and somebody leading you through it. And I'm sure it works for some people. It's just like, don't be doing it because it's a fad and it's cool. Like, because then if you're not doing the work, then it's still going to be there. Oh, grief work. Yeah. We need that for sure. All right, Joni. No, I seen you. I seen you. I seen you. I seen you. I forgot about you. I didn't forget about you, Joni. I just got caught up. I got caught up in everybody's drama, Joni. I'm sorry. I got caught up in Jennifer being the pasta maker. We can call her Jen Boyardee. All right, Joni. All right. What does Miss Joni need to know? What do the cards want to tell Joni? Oh, yeah. And Michael, because I love watching Naked and Afraid, and my husband, he's like, why do you watch this? And of course, most people think that they're because they're naked, that it's, I want to see, the people naked. But, naked is just being vulnerable. That is another aspect of them being out in the wilderness vulnerable. So it's not the fact that they don't have any clothes on. It's just another level of uncomfortable and that vulnerable, and seeing, just seeing that. And then, and so I tell him, I was like, it's about overcoming. It's about being able to do something and overcome. That's what it's about. And I love to see people being vulnerable and overcoming, even when they thought that they couldn't, and they do, and they survive. And they might not be able to overcome completely, but they still survive. That's why I like it. But since we were talking about this, because, I just love idle chit chat. Naked and Afraid, they were in Louisiana one time, and they were in the swamps. And one of the guys was actually from Louisiana, and he was talking about the rougarou, which I guess is like a booger bear in Louisiana swamps. And they caught it. And I thought, how cool is that? So they caught it. So you can YouTube Naked and Afraid rougarou. Don't know how to spell it, but maybe Louisiana monster. And you can see it at the very end. And I thought that was kind of cool. All right, Joni. Oh, Jen, you so silly, girl. Ain't nobody afraid. Not unless you're afraid you're going to slip out of the tub and drop the hairdryer in the shower. All right, Joni. All right, Joni. So the message coming from the cards is all about manifesting, okay? So, and as much as this feels like material manifesting, this also feels like emotional manifesting. And so I don't know, Joni, if you know about manifesting, but it feels like you are in that period of the pause where you have done the work and you are waiting for the reward, like you've done the work and now you're just waiting. And it's like, don't lose faith. You're not being tested. It's just, you gotta keep staying there. You gotta keep, I guess, holding space. You gotta keep staying in that mind. You're not being tested. It's just, the time isn't right for what you are manifesting to come in. Okay. But I will say, if you lose your faith and you might like have a crazy thought, or it's not going to happen to you, that's completely fine. Like, that's not going to cancel anything out. It just feels like everything that you're working for is coming to you. Just, it's not at this time. And, but it's still coming. And this has to do with material things, and this has to do with emotional things. So it feels like you're working and working and working, and you're waiting, and you're like, when's it going to be here? When's it going to be here? Well, it's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's still coming. It's just not time yet. And it doesn't feel like it is like you can do anything to make it faster. Like this isn't reflected on you. Like, there's nothing that you can do to make this go faster. It feels like this has to do with somebody else. So I don't know if It doesn't feel like you're trying to manifest a relationship. I don't know if it has something to do with forgiveness, or I don't know. It. So, Joni, whenever I see you doing this, I see you asking, like I see it involving somebody else that you've also been manifesting for them, like you've been praying for them, like you have been asking for like their highest healing, like their best thing. And like you've been praying, or like you've just been like manifesting for them too. So this has to do with material abundance, and this has to do with emotional abundance, and it's coming in. It's just not the appropriate time. So you just keep staying in this place of what you're doing, and it'll come in. And don't think that if you have a bad thought that you're going to jinx it and it go away. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming towards you and towards this other person. So there you go. There you go, Joni. And thank you for holding space for the other person. All righty. Hi, Charlotte. Yes, you may. Are y'all ready for Jennifer to do the reading gallery with, I think it was Sherry? That's exciting. I hope I remember to watch. I'm going to set my alarm on my phone. That'd be super cool. All right. This is for Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. All right, Charlotte. So what you need to work on this week, or what you're going to have the opportunity to work on this week, is heart chakra stuff. And so this heart chakra, of course, is about love, but this feels like self-love. This just feels like self-love. And honestly, Charlotte, what I was getting the image of is what you sitting in a window and looking out the window, like you looking out a window. And it's not like you're daydreaming out the window. It's something about this window and you looking out this window. And so the window, it doesn't feel like it's a metaphor for life or for your eyes. It feels like a physical window that you're looking out. So I don't know if this is a window like at your office and you're always wanting to be on the outside, or if you are homebound and want to be outside, or if you're like Carol and have a whole lot of snow and you want to be on outside, or if you are reminiscent about what you used to do outside. Like if there's a tree that used to be there and you used to go sit underneath it, but it's something about you looking out this window. And it's something about self-love that's what you're going to have to work on. And so, of course, whenever I say self-love, I just said it, and it's like you have permission. So I don't know if you're the type of person that every time you have a thought, like if you're like, oh my gosh, my car insurance is so high, and you're like, well, just be glad you have a car. Or if you say something like, oh, I have to do this weekend to, my house. And you're like, well, be glad that you have a house. So like it feels like in your mind, you're going back and trying to be like, you need to be appreciative of this. You need to be appreciative of this. So I don't know if you're looking out the window and seeing people less fortunate or what, but it's like you need to give yourself permission to be aggravated with things, like that kind of self-love. Like just because you say something doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Like if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to the grocery store, then it's like part of you says, well, at least you got a car, or at least you got money, or at least you got a way to go to the grocery store. And if it feels like you're kind of like beating yourself up because you have these things or you have these opportunities. And so that self-love, I think, is like, but something else, Joni, makes me feel like you're limited physically or like you're limited mobility wise. And, or you're afraid of, I don't know if you're afraid of not being mobile or it's like you only have so much energy, and like there's like some illnesses where people measures out, oh, I've only got 10 spoons today, and just getting out of bed takes like 7 of them. That's what it feels like. It feels like you have a limited amount of energy, or you have a limited amount of mobility, and whenever you have these thoughts, it's like, no, you should be grateful for this. That's what your mind is telling you. But it's really okay to say, like, it's really okay for you to be in that place of, oh, I got to do that, because it is a task and it can seem overwhelming. So that's where I think that self-love is going to come in. Like, even though that voice is telling you positive things, it can still be a limiting or bullying voice, if that makes sense. Like that obtrusive thought, it can still be a bully, even though it's saying something positive. So if you say like, oh, I don't have the energy to go to the store today, and that voice says, well, you better be glad you can go to the store because you've got this and this and this, then that's still like a bully voice. That's how it feels. And just because it's saying something in a positive way still doesn't make it good, I guess. So, Joni, you need to show yourself some self-love and flip that voice, like flip it off your shoulder and say, it is what it is. I'm still appreciative, but I'm still going to be tired. I'm appreciative, but I still don't want to put the groceries up. I'm appreciative I've had the groceries, but I still don't want to put them up. Like, I'm appreciative I have clothes, but I still don't want to wash them. That's how it feels. Or like if you have a dog, it's like, I'm glad I have a dog, but I still don't want to take it outside. That's, and you can still feel that way, and that's completely fine. You have permission to feel that way because it's still valid. All right, guys, I think that's it. The pasta maker probably has to go make pasta. All right. Well, bye, guys.